So,
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a
Hey,
Q.
Froggy.
All right, welcome back to the Patriot Hour for Sunday, March 3rd, 2019. I'm Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving us some of your time. All right, we still got quite a few Q posts to catch up to here. We're going to get through the rest of them. I'll try to get them all. Pretty sure I'll be able to get them all right in here in this video, so stick around. We'll get right into it. Again, if you're new, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, maybe toggle the switch, ring that bell, and then toggle the switch to work with you and your device so you get all the updates in a timely manner. All right, let's jump right in here. Last one we went over was 2922. That's 2,922 Q drops post breadcrumbs since the beginning of all this. All right, 2922. We'll pick up at 2923. All right, D-class coming. Yep, that was the last one. So 2923, this came at 1228. This afternoon, 1238. Anonymous put March Madness incoming. All right, 2924, presidential order on Carter Page, FISA D-class, and release of incriminating text. This came at 1238. And they're calling it a Q proof. Proofs are important. We got a September 15th, 2018 article, CNN, FEMA presidential alert. D-class coming, more incriminating text, release it coming, dark to light, carpet bombs. September 17th of 2018, at the request of a number of committee of Congress and for reasons of transparency, the president has directed the Office of Director of National Intelligence, DNI, Department of Justice, to provide declassification immediate of pages 10 through 12, 17 through 34, of the June 27 application for the FISA court, Carter Page. FBI reports of interviews with Bruce G. Orr prepared in connection with the Russia investigation. So now why hasn't that happened yet? One can ask, well, they're only delaying. They're scared. This will prove. So in the addition, President Trump has directed the Department of Justice, including the FBI, to publicly release all text messages relating to the Russia investigation without redaction. And we want of James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Bruce Orr. Proofs are important. Now you can speculate all the other investigations going on, that one releasing this one might interfere with some of the other ones. So that's the reason, probably the main reason why we haven't gotten them. All right, impact of Carter Page. 2925, this came at 1240, just a few hours ago. Got an anonymous here. It posted this at 1239. Declassify will initiate the resignation, recusal, and or removal of Rod Rosenstein. Declassify will initiate the awareness that all signers will be currently under investigation. Declassify will factually demonstrate without argument the U.S. government, under Hussein, knowingly presented false evidence to the FISIC. That's the process that you put the FISA into, in an effort to obtain legal U.S. intelligence, open the umbrella of surveillance of POTUS, identify target, for the sole purpose of influencing the 2016 election of the presidency, not Russia, but Hussein, HRC, and their projection, safeguard against possible loss of powers, firewalls, use of back channel surveillance, spy insertion, people, bodies 1, 2, and 5, by the UK and Australia, primarily activated under Director Brennan, Director Clapper, with PDB, Presidential Daily Briefing, regular updates, plus live streaming, White House Hussein non-oval situation room coordination, FISA, the full D class brings down the House. White House in brackets, Q, huge happenings coming. Huge happenings. 29-26, Spygate. They were spying on Trump before he announced his candidacy in June 2016 to 15. March 3rd, we got the Ferris wheel in the background. Got the, which we believe to be Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. The picture is from early 15, months before POTUS went down the escalator. Flyby and in play long before we have been saying. Prove me wrong. Physical landscape plus minus proves it could have not been taken pre-2016. OP active announcement and intel awareness pre-2016. Intelligence awareness. 29-27, Hillary campaign and fake news promoted Trump because they had an insurance file. Fake dossier. Fake Russia dossier. I got a March 3rd post here. So it was known that it was happening with the deep state, but this trip happened in 2016. Yeah, this is early this morning. I'm acting like it was just here at noon. My bad. Yeah, 12:58 a.m. early this morning. POTUS formally announced his candidacy on June 16 of 2015. Why did the HRC campaign actively work to push POTUS as the right candidate for the GOP? Why did HRC campaign publicly attack POTUS opponents? Why did HRC campaign want POTUS to be the nominee? Did the fake news play along? Think pre-nominee. What setup insurance file was created assuming POTUS would become the nominee? POTUS 1. Cruz 2. Was Cruz a target of a separate illegal spy campaign? We're finding out that he was. Also, folks, we know that Hillary not only cheated Bernie, but she prompted, put up, did everything to help Trump make sure that he excelled to the top of his candidacy. So they kind of picked as like, I want to run against Trump. I want him to be the last person. That way I have the best chances of winning. So not only did she try to direct the narrative, they helped Trump get to the top of his, area of the Republican Party, basically. And then she thought she'd have the best chances against him. So it's interesting. And we've heard all this. We've known all this. 29-28, FISA declassification would destroy their last stand to pave the way for John Huber indictments. Anonymous came at 12:50 a.m. early this morning. Declass will destroy their last stand, Schumer and Pelosi. FISA would be the start of the prepare of public for Huber. FISA equals start. FISA equals immediate confirmation of illegal acts regarding the signers. FISA equals immediate confirmation start of Hussein's spy campaign to rig an election was based on false info. FISA implicates HRC, the D party, as feeders of false info with the intent of securing the MSN and blast, plus the blasting and the insurance. FISA implicates senior members of the UK, MI5, 6, SIS, Signals Intelligence Service, US Intel, White House, Five Eye, Republican Party, Congress, Senate, of known corruption in effort to retain power, rig an election, safeguard events by political kill act, while in power, given the MSN fake push Russia war narrative. FISA ties MSN heads TV behind the corporation to the D party, other foreign heads of state in a co-op strategy. FISA brings down the House. FOIA does not include FISA. Declass by POTUS, key parts that factually demonstrate the dirty fake dossier was used by Adam Schiff, primary source to secure highest level of intel spying on primary Republican opponent plus post-election. Intel assets from 4, domestic spying on the President of the United States for the Office of Presidency of the United States of America. We should be, number one thing we should be pissed about, logical thinking. Public awareness, FISA spying, foundation built by Huber. No spelling errors intended. Mobile/unknown if above. Again, that came at 12:59 a.m. early this morning. And we got this one at 29:29, came at 1:02 a.m. Got a repost of the 29:26. Physical landscape could not have been taken. Correction, could not have been taken post 2016. Think 2015. Long day. I had some of his words mixed up on the move. 2930, optics are important. Mueller report, FISA D-class, OIG, Huber equals pain. 1:07 a.m. Got again the Q-proof Secretary of the Press. September of 18, September 17th. Got a repost September 15th. Proofs are important. Important to remember, POTUS already ordered the D-class per Q-proof September 17th. He's awaiting the DOJ IG, now a bar, plus OIG to proceed with the order. Optics are important. Delay by design, post-order to D-class. Tactics, benefits, Rod Rosenstein in the kill brackets, and or in the kill brackets. 2931 came at 1:10 a.m. Got an anonymous. Q was POTUS recruited later in the campaign. According to this timeline, Donald J. Trump was a loose cannon. Thank formation of the Freedom Caucus. Thank Freedom Caucus today. Thank Jim Jordan. Thank Mark Meadows. Got dots here. 3, 6, 9, 13. Because the last one's got 4. So 3, 6, 9 plus 4, 13. 2932, the mass distribution of Q drops explains why pointing typos is necessary. Came at 1:11 a.m. this morning, early this morning. Anonymous, we understood. Roger that, Anon. Mass distribution of messages creates a need to correct. And 2933, got an anonymous here. Check number 2657, huge. When will the public discover that Ted Cruz was also illegally surveilled? Pre-POTUS, our nomination. CIA illegally surveilled members of Congress. CIA illegally surveilled members of the press. CIA illegally surveilled Senate Intel Committee. Guardian link here. Yeah, come on. Junk when they do that. Junk. A constitutional crisis. The CIA turns on the Senate. Tension flare between the CIA and the Senate in the fight to release the report on torture, leading the agency to spy on its own legislative overseers. Support the Guardian's fear journalism. It's 11 p.m. This is from September 16. It's 11 p.m. in the chill of January, but Daniel Jones needs to run around the Capitol. During the winter of early of 2014, Jones' only chance for serenity was these late hours. The CIA was demanding his boss, Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Dianne Feinstein, fire him. Feinstein's Republican colleagues, once supportive of Jones, were demanding he testify. Testimony was treacherous. Sheldon Whitehouse, a Rhode Island senator and former federal prosecutor, warned Jones that asserting his rights against self-incrimination or seeking a lawyer's counsel could give the committee Republicans a political lever against his highly controversial work. The CIA would soon formally insist that the U.S. Justice Department actually prosecute Jones, the Senate staffer who devoted over 6 years of his life to investigating the CIA's infamous post-9/11 torture program. Jones, a former FBI counter-terrorism analyst, wanted to testify. The CIA had pushed him past the point where he could back down. It lies documented in a 6,700-page secret report, which Jones was constantly rewriting that winter, were compounding to Congress, Barack Obama, George Bush, to the press, to the public. The lies were not random misstatements. They were directional, in the service of covering up the brutality of what it did to at least 119 terror suspects, some clearly innocent. It held in a global network of secret prisons. Jones was on the verge of exposing the cover-up. As he saw it, the personalized intensity of the CIA's attacks on him, the unprecedented steps they were taking, validated, and the account he had compiled after combing through over 6 million classified CIA documents. So they weren't happy. Jones put his Bose earbuds in, queued up a tragical hip record, and ran. It couldn't be that long of a lap, just enough to clear his head and work the frustrations out. So this is crazy little piece. New York Times, World Senate Intelligence Committee CIA interrogation report. Who ordered the surveillance? What justification was provided to authorize the surveillance of elected officials? Surveillance falls under the scope of FISA warrant or Intel Department or outsourced to the Five Eye. Reality check, friend or foe, we all spy on each other. Should we be spying on ourselves? Should we be tasking others to spy on ourselves in order to avoid U.S. law? Was Five Eye established, designed by the Intel Committee as a back channel? A way to surveil an apparatus to avoid our domestic laws, triggers, and congressional Senate oversight? What key logs exist to monitor Five Eye Intel collection? What ability do former government officials have regarding ability to access C-level Five Eye offshore data? How did HRC gain access to the highest C-class SAPS closed system access and able to transfer remote to her home server? Q above should scare every single American. And it does. That's something I'm really heavy on, folks, is the whole time they were building up this surveil, they promised they'd never use it against a civilian. It was only to get the bad guys. And again, it doesn't seem like they stop anything with it. It seems like it's a system that they access at their own leisure for whatever reasons. How did China locate primarily CIA assets within China? 187. Money buys power. No punishment. Brennan by Hussein Admin regarding surveillance of a Senate, etc. Above should scare every single American. And it should. This is 2934. We stand together. This came at 1:24 a.m. Sheep no more. Q. Dark to light. We stand together. Where we go one, we go all. 2934. Just looks like we got some more that popped up here. So I'll go ahead and get these caught up. Already at the 17-minute mark. All right, 2935 came at 1:50 p.m. We got a Fox News political. Nader announces sweeping document request, declares Trump obstructed. When the original insurance policy expires, Mueller, and you must attempt to protect those in harm's way regarding applying blockade plus maintain leftist hatred and Fox News narrative view. Fake news narrative view. Nadler announces sweeping document request, says Trump obstructed justice. So, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler, who oversee any impeachment proceedings against President Trump, announced that he will submit more than 60 documents requests to the White House and Justice Department on Monday, a barrage that Nadler called the opening salvo in a new and wide-ranging investigation. So they're ready to fire up some more here, folks. In a desperate attempt. 2936, when do you play the Trump card? At what stage in the game do you play the Trump card? This came at 1:52 p.m. about 2 hours ago. 2937. This is a methodical plan moving ahead step by step with military precision. Came at 2:27 p.m. Why have there been no arrest? Why have specific dates been mentioned only to see no action? Define game theory. Why must disinformation be provided? Define open source. Define public purview. Do we let our enemies walk through the front door? Define plausible deniability. Why was it important to first clean house within the FBI and DOJ? Public info. To give the public all the info what was going on. Why was it important to first clean house within other ABC agencies? The non-public part. Some of these agencies reside in secrecy. What are the duties of the FBI? What are the duties of the DOJ? When does military intel have jurisdiction? Well, when you find out the heads of these agencies are corrupt and have done things that can lead to them being shut down temporarily if need be, until you get it fixed. Trump didn't go that route. They did the military intel jurisdiction thing. What vested powers does POTUS have regarding the military intel versus the ABC agencies regarding matters of national security, regarding Homeland? Think umbrella surveillance. What agency does the FBI report to? What is the role of the AG? Does the AG oversee the firing of the FBI and DOJ senior, mid-level, lower staff? How many FBI and DOJ have been fired or forced to resign? Does Russia recusal prevent, block the Attorney General from his responsibility? What time period does this occur? Who appointed and tasked Huber? Who appointed and tasked the OIG? Who was the AG? Remember? Who turned over everything? Who recused themselves and then gave it all to Huber? Everyone kept saying, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. 0 leaks. None. Transfer from the AG1 to AG2. Why might that be important? How do you avoid political motivated attack, obstruction, attempt to block and obstruct Mueller? Optics are important. When optics are not important, think Whitaker. Define stage set. Who recently walked on stage to take command? What stage experience did this person have? Think Bill Clinton impeachment. Has the stage been cleaned and cleared for the next performance? If the stage is clean, can the performance begin? How might transparency D-class fit into this dialogue? Define thesis statement. What benefit does this provide to Barr? This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. POTUS, logical thinking. That's all pretty 2938, treason, sedition, corruption at the highest levels of the government worldwide. This came at 2:55, just about an hour ago. Ask yourself a very simple, logical question. What is a FISA warrant and application? It is a highly confidential, safeguarded product of the United States Gov. Or is it? Is it a highly confidential, safeguarded product? Yes. If a product of the US Gov, how did the UK and Australia know what was listed inside of the package? Think call to the POTUS to prevent D-class, sources and methods. The US government requests UK, Australia +2 to spy, plus campaign insertion on an American presidential pre-nominee plus POTUS elect. Is there a chain of command to approve such authority? Paper trail of the chain of command and the umbrella spy metadata. If not tasked and targeted under 5I, what legal authority existed to engage the targeting? Think Nunez statement. Not through normal collection, not through normal gathering, and or reporting and oversight. That's 5I. Did the dossier provide the bulk data anchor for the spy campaign? What entity paid for the research dossier? Opposition candidate, HRC. What U.S. ally completed the collection of the false data? Why is it important to use sources within the UK versus the U.S.? How do you circumvent the U.S. law? By going to these other people that are part of the 5I. They don't require the same logins. Not of the same laws that we have, or not over there, and probably not over there by design. What other anchors provided the FISIC in order to gain the warrant? D-class will show this. What other data collection processes worse than the dossier? Why didn't the FISIC require in-room presentations of the data prior to sign-off? Who signed apps 1 through 4? Who traveled to the UK, Australia post-election of POTUS? Why were security privileges removed from select former active individuals? Treason, sedition, corruption at the highest levels of the Gov, worldwide. How do you repair a bridge without closing it down? Get it down to one lane sometimes, right? 2939, John Hoover's team of prosecutors covering a wide range of criminal activity. This came at 3:31, folks. That's about 20 minutes ago. This came from just a little bit ago. We got an article here we'll look at. Prosecuting major criminals behind the badge with Utah's U.S. attorney. This came from February 26 and 19. February 27 and 19. 6 new assistant U.S. attorneys hired to help with crimes in Utah. Salt Lake City, drugs, illegal immigration, violent crimes. These are big issues in Utah, and while you may not think they impact you, they do. That's why the U.S. Attorney's Office in Utah has added 6 new prosecutors to its team. In the weeks behind the badge report, we met a couple of new prosecutors and talked to the U.S. Attorney about how they are protecting Utah. Christina Ortega is an assistant U.S. attorney here in Utah. My primary focus as a violent crimes team is child porn cases. That means she prosecutes those who prey on our children, and unfortunately that happens frequently in Utah. I came in ready to work, and work was there. The former Davis County and Salt Lake County prosecutor says that what she was wanted to do since childhood. So we got Huber. U.S. Attorney John Huber talked about the value of his new prosecutors. I cannot overstate the positive impact these positions will have in Utah for decades to come. Huber says every one of the prosecutors is already handling about 20 cases each. Sometimes reading between the lines provides. Huber says every one of the prosecutors is already handling about 20 cases that range from domestic terrorism to court-authorized wiretaps of criminal organizations to child pedophiles and those who would exploit our children, criminal aliens, big fraud schemes. There are about 56 prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office Utah. As part of his story, we also talked to U.S. Attorney John Huber about gangs, drugs, fighting crime in the state. To hear what he says, you can check out the extra interview material here. While she wishes crimes would not happen here, she's glad to now be part of the team that stops it. Right when I came in, my first week I was reviewing search warrants. I was presenting cases to grand juries. I was appearing in court. Alright, I don't know what that was saying. You can also nominate an officer for future behind the badge story. Oh, okay, you can nominate. I thought that was more of a story. But there you go, folks. We've talked about Huber a lot. I've gone over articles of him starting back in last March. Alright, March, about a year ago. We started... he was appointed back in November of 17. So this has been going on a while. And I think some of this crosses lines with other things. Mueller. There's so much going on that they can't release this without hurting that. And you can't declass something that Trump requested. And the reason it's taking so long is because it interferes with some other things. Too much overlapping. Too much connection. And one thing can hinder something else. So we just kind of got to be patient. But I think we're there. We're getting there. Things are at an all-time ramp up. The hypocrisy's high. All right, so let's go ahead and shut this one down. We're at the 30-minute mark. Again, I'm Mike. This is we're at the 30-minute mark, but I am Mike. All right, again, God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you worldwide. And we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour update video coming here real soon later on this evening. So make sure you're subscribed. Again, the backup channel and all the links we go over are down below in the description box. All the links, if you want to contribute to this channel at all, are down below as well. And other than that, just share the video across all your social media platforms. We truly appreciate it. Again, God bless, and we'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video.